Hi, this is Jay Balakrishna. I have been teaching English as communication skill for the last 21 years. And English has been the most popular language in the world. Everybody wants to learn English language, English for communication, English to write GRE and GMAT examination, English for interviews, English for competitive examinations, English for career. So many requirements are there, so many reasons are there. And so many methods of teaching and learning English language are there in this world. Are you not confused? What is the right way to learn English language and what is the wrong way to learn English language? After watching this video, you will come to know about the simplest and the easiest way of learning English language. Because you do not have lot of time to sit in a spoken English classroom because you have your own business. You are doing MBA course or MBBS course or engineering course, you want to go abroad, you are a housewife, you are a businessman, you want to improve your business. That's why you can't afford too much of time to learn English language. You have less time. So your goal is to learn English language in the best possible way, in the simplest way, by spending less amount of time. In this video, we are going to show such technique of learning English language in a simple and easy way. Just observe. Take any language in this world. How many stages are there? If you take any language in this world, there are 4 stages. What are they? Number 1, letters. Number 2, words. Number 3, sentences. Number 4, paragraphs. The journey of learning any language begins with letters, then words, sentences and paragraphs. At the same time, we always speak in the form of sentences. You may have learnt hundreds and thousands of words. You may have learnt millions of words, but all those words are going to end at sentence. We are going to talk in the form of a sentence. So when you decide to learn any language, always make it a point to learn sentence formation skill, not grammar. See any traditional and conventional grammar class or a spoken English classroom. First, they start teaching parts of speech, noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, interjection, conjunction, then tenses, passive voice, active voice. Finally, what happened? The student remembers the syllabus but not communication. Because your job is not to learn grammar, your job is to learn English language. Just go back to your past. You all have your own respective mother tongues: Spanish, German, Chinese, Hindi, English, etc. Did you pick up all these languages by going to spoken Spanish, spoken Chinese, spoken German institutes? No. Did you go to any library? No. Did we give you any books? No. Then how did you pick up your mother tongue? You have been exposed to the atmosphere where everybody talks in your mother tongue. Therefore, whenever you decide to learn English language, your first and the last target should always be sentence, sentence and sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words. A sentence is a group of words. Is it just a group of words? No, it's more than that. A group of words arranged in a correct, specific order. So all that you need to know is what is this correct, specific order. That's it. If you learn this, your job is done. Indirectly, whatever you want to learn in English language, English grammar, everything can be covered here. So when you decide to learn English language, always make it a point to learn sentence formation skill. And a sentence is nothing but a group of words arranged in a correct, specific order. And next point, what are the main parts of a sentence in English language? A sentence in English language consists of 8 important parts. Number 1, subject. Number 2, verb. Number 3, noun. Number 3, number 4, adjective. Number 5, adverb. The next, prepositional phrase. Then clauses. Then non-finite clauses. Subject, verb, noun, adjective, adverb, prepositional phrase, clauses, non-finite clauses. If you have decided to learn English language, you should have the knowledge of these 8 parts, not from grammar point of view. I mean to say that you are not going to teach all these 8 as an English teacher in any school or college. Your job is to know how these 8 things function in an English language. To put it in a simple way, if you want to know how to construct a house, first you need to know what is the material that is needed to construct a house. You need cement, you need bricks, you need sand, you need water, you need steel, iron, wood. These items are like that. So you have to collect minimum information about those parts. How to use cement, how to use bricks, how to use water, how to use mixed cement and sand. That's what makes your house strong. Similarly, when you decide to learn a sentence formation skill, you have to gather the knowledge of these 8 parts. And let me tell you, pick up any sentence from any newspaper in this world. It will consist of maximum these 8 parts and minimum 2 parts. So make it clear, if you have decided to learn English language, you should have 100% knowledge of these 8 parts. How are they going to help me in learning the language? How many sentences can I make with these 8 parts? And our classes are going to be different. We are not going to bore you with the same old converting exercise, convert active voice into passive voice into active voice, direct speech into indirect speech into direct speech, positive degree, comparative degree. No boring exercises, no textbooks, no examinations, no giving marks and taking certificates and giving grades. No, come on, you are learning language. Did you do all these things when you were learning mother tongue? No. Slowly, step by step, as you grew year by year, month by month, you picked up sentences, words and paragraphs. In the same way, we are going to teach you English language in the simplest way. So, different types of people come to us to learn English language. Some of them are school dropouts. Some of them are MBA, MCA, MBBS engineering graduates. Some of them are government employees, housewives. And all these students sit together in a common classroom. So it becomes quite difficult for both the learner and the teacher to teach and learn English classes. Therefore, it is necessary to teach some fundamentals to all these people so that they all come to the common platform. So we teach 12 fundamentals in the beginning so that all the students, a school dropout and an engineering graduate, come to the same platform. Once they pick up these 12 fundamentals thoroughly, then it becomes very easy for the teacher to teach English language. Hi friends, this is J. Balakrishna. In this video, we are going to learn how to describe a person by using the word am. Now this is the verb which goes with I. Only I can use this word am, and it indicates present tense. Now in this video you will learn how to use this for describing a person, for describing this person. See these sentences. I am good, I am tall, I am short, I am decent, I am dignified, I am disciplined, I am happy, I am sad, I am angry, I am emotional, It can go on and on and on. Now there are three parts in this sentence. This is called subject, this is called verb, or call it simply a technical word in English language called am, and all these are some other words, and in grammar they are called adjectives. They are called adjectives. Adjectives are the words which are used to describe a living thing or a non-living thing. So these are all adjectives. We are using them to describe this person called I by using this verb am. Now let us repeat these sentences. I am good. I am tall. I am short. I am decent. I am dignified. I am disciplined. I am happy. I am sad. I am angry. I am emotional. In this way, we can take large number of adjectives that can be used to describe a person and make sentences. This is a simple and easy way of making short sentences. So now your progress depends on the number of adjectives you have, because this is used by all of us. Anybody can use I and anybody can use am. This is not your big achievement because this is universal. This is fixed. This is common for all of us. But your progress, your command of English language always depends on the number of adjectives, the number of descriptive words which are there in your vocabulary, which are there in your mind. If you have 5 adjectives, you can make only 5 number of sentences. If you have hundreds of adjectives, 100 sentences. 10,000 adjectives, 10,000 sentences. So therefore, you have to collect as many adjectives as possible, as many descriptive words as possible, and make own sentences. And all these sentences are used for description. All these sentences are describing this person called I. So this is stage 1. In stage 1, take I, keep am here, keep these two people like this, and keep adding one by one adjective and make sentences. And do it loudly. Repetitions are very important. Do not repeat, do not say it only once and stop it. No, you repeat it today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 1 week, 2 weeks. Only then they will enter your mind. I am good, I am tall, I am short, I am decent, I am dignified, I am disciplined, I am happy, I am angry, I am emotional. In this way you can practice. This is stage 1. Now after making a large number of sentences like that, after you start feeling comfortable and convenient with those words, go to second stage. In stage 2, we concentrate on variations. Now just now we have seen how we have made sentences with subject called I. Then we have taken a word called am. Then we have taken some words called adjectives which are used for description. You can also call them descriptive words. I am happy. Now you should know how to use it in 4 different ways. I am happy, it's a positive form. I am not happy, it's a negative form. When you are not happy, you are going to say this sentence. When you want to confirm, am I happy? This is positive question. Am I not happy? This is negative question. Now repeat it loudly as possible, because you have to train the tongue. I am happy, I am not happy. Now how are we making the question? Bring this person here and bring him here. Am I happy? Am I not happy? You are not adding any new words. Just you are changing their places and the statement becomes a question. I am happy, I am not happy. Am I happy? Am I not happy? Sad. I am sad, I am not sad. Am I sad? Am I not sad? Angry. I am angry. I am not angry. Am I angry? Am I not angry? Simple. I am simple. I am not simple. Am I simple? Am I not simple? I am experienced. I am not experienced. Am I experienced? Am I not experienced? Now here what happens when you collect 10 adjectives and you are making 40 sentences, 10 into 4, 40. If you collect 100 adjectives, you can make 400 sentences. And this will be a wonderful practice for your tongue. And you don't need any grammar book. You need not do any exercise. All that you need is adjectives that are available on internet. Collect good number of adjectives, keep on adding and make sentences, and keep on practicing these 4 variations. This will be a wonderful practice for your tongue. So in this video we have learned how to describe a person called I by using adjectives with the help of the word called am. Now we shall discuss how to use am. Remember 2 points. This person goes only with I. Nobody can use except I. Only I will use this person, I am. That is 1 point. Second point, you can use it only for present tense. You can't use it for past or future. I am, present tense. It indicates present tense. This is called grammar. You should know which person can go with am and what is the tense indicated by am. Now the next point is how it helps me in making sentences. See these sentences. I am a doctor. I am a teacher. I am a lawyer. I am a player. I am a singer. Like this we can make sentences. I am a doctor. I am a teacher. I am a player. I am a lawyer. I am a singer. I am a boy. I am a girl. I am a student. I am a scientist. I am a politician. I am a leader. I am a surgeon. I am a driver. I am a mechanic. The list goes on and on and on. That's it. You have made a sentence. And what are these words called in English grammar? They are called nouns. The traditional teachers tell too many things about nouns. Proper nouns, collective nouns, abstract nouns, compound nouns, countable nouns, uncountable nouns. It is not necessary to know about all these things. Whatever it may be, noun is a noun. Collect as many nouns as possible from a good vocabulary book or from any good dictionary and make sentences with them. Now your success, your command of English language, your fluency depends on the number of nouns you make, because this is universal. Whether you are a primary student, whether you are a professor, everybody uses I. Whether you are a school dropout or whether you are a professor, everybody can use am. But your fluency, your command depends on these nouns. Example, if you know 100 nouns, you can make 100 sentences like this. If you know 10,000 nouns, you can make 10,000 sentences like this. So your job is to collect as many nouns as possible and make sentences like this. I am a doctor, I am a teacher, I am a lawyer, I am a player, I am a singer. What do all these 5 sentences indicate? When do I use them? You can use them when you are talking about identity. Identity of a person. What are you? I am a doctor. What are you? I am a teacher. What are you? I am a player. What are you? I am a singer. Identity of a person is expressed by this type of sentences. Am can go only with living person. This is the type of the sentence. First sentence. Now collect as many nouns as possible and go on making sentences like this. This is called stage 1. 2. Variations. In stage 1, your job is to just make small sentences so that you will develop some self-confidence. Once you have started making sentences with the help of subject, am, nouns, then go to second stage. Variations. What are these variations? See this example. I am a doctor. I am not a doctor. Am I a doctor? Am I not a doctor? These are called variations. You should know all these four forms at second stage, because these four forms will give you some more flexibility, some more freedom to talk more confidently in English language. I am a doctor. This is affirmative sentence. You can call it a positive form. I am not a doctor. This is a negative sentence. Am I a doctor? This is a question to confirm. Am I a doctor? Am I not a doctor? This is negative question. Now here you have to do lot of oral drilling. Do not use pen. Use tongue more than pen. I am a doctor. I am not a doctor. Am I a doctor? Am I not a doctor? I am a teacher. I am not a teacher. Am I a teacher? Am I not a teacher? I am a student. I am not a student. Am I a student? Am I not a student? In this way, repeat a number of times. The more you repeat, the deeper it enters your subconscious mind. So just one or two examples are not enough. Collect as many nouns as possible, make sentences, and with every sentence you make four forms. This will give you a lot of training to the tongue, and very quickly your tongue starts pronouncing sentences effortlessly. I am a teacher, I am not a teacher. Am I a teacher? Am I not a teacher? I am a player, I am not a player. Am I a player? Am I not a player? You have to maintain this type of fluency. This is second stage where we learn about variations. Stage 3. You need large number of nouns which are used only for human beings to indicate their identity. Then you can make large number of sentences. In this video, we are learning that this is the subject I, singular, and we are using the verb am. It indicates present tense and it goes only with I. Then the third word that we are using is noun. So you have to collect large number of nouns which are used for human beings to indicate their identity, like I am a pilot, I am a nurse, I am a doctor, I am a teacher. If you collect large number of nouns which indicate human identity, you can make large number of sentences, and later on each sentence you can use in four ways. Affirmative form, I am a doctor. Negative form, I am not a doctor. Then a question to confirm my identity, am I a doctor? Then a question to confirm my identity in a negative form, am I not a doctor? So if you collect nouns and make sentences and practice it in four different ways, it will be a wonderful practice for your tongue. You can train the tongue to improve your fluency. So this is a small and a simple sentence which can be used by a beginner who does not have any knowledge of English language. Hi, my name is J. Balakrishna. In this video, you are going to learn about the actions done by a person called I. And I am going to use another person called am. Now these two people will come together. This is called a verb. Grammar calls it a verb. You can call it a technical word. If you do not want to use the word verb, call him a technical word. That doesn't matter. This person goes with I and it indicates present tense. So in this video, you are going to learn about the actions done by this person, and it will be possible with the word called am. Now see these sentences. I am sitting. I am standing. I am talking. I am writing. I am listening. I am eating. I am washing. I am walking. I am running. Do you find any similarity here? ing, 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 ing. This is the similarity. These are all words. I am using the word word. These are all words. Grammar calls them action verbs. You call it an action verb or you call it a word, that doesn't make any difference. They are all ending in ing form. So take a subject, I, keep one word called am, and keep on adding ing forms, it becomes a sentence. Now the traditional conservative teachers call it present continuous tense. This is the terminology used by them. Some people call it present progressive. Fine. If you want, you can remember it, you can call it present continuous tense, but that is not mandatory. Your job is to make sentences, own sentences, as many as possible. Now I repeat, I am sitting, I am standing, I am talking, I am writing, I am listening, I am eating, I am washing, I am walking, I am running. Like this you can make large number of sentences. All that you need is a good number of ing forms. And when should I use them? I have learnt some 100 or 200 sentences. When should I use them? You should use them when you are talking about temporary actions of a person. Temporary in the sense for short duration, for limited time. Take the case of eating. I am eating, meaning I am doing it now, temporarily. I am washing my hands. I am doing it now, temporarily. Next one is continuous. It should go on regular basis. I am learning English language. Every day 1 hour it has been going on regular basis. I am working on part-time basis. I am taking treatment. It should go on continuously. And third one is incomplete. It should be in the process. I am eating. It's not over. It's going on. I am sitting. It's going on, not over. I am talking. It's going on, not over. So it should be temporary, it should be continuous, or it should be incomplete. Every sentence need not have all the three qualities. If you are doing it on temporary basis, or if it is continuous one, or if it is in incomplete format, you have to use these sentences. So this is another way of making sentences with the word called am. This is stage 1. In stage 1, you just concentrate on collecting large number of ing forms, keep on adding one by one and make sentences and get familiar to these sentences, train the tongue. Of sentences with ing forms, go to second stage. I am waiting. Now you should be good at using this sentence in 4 different ways. I am waiting. I am not waiting. Am I waiting? Am I not waiting? I am waiting. I am not waiting. Am I waiting? Am I not waiting? I am waiting you will use when the action is going on right now. I am not waiting you will use when it is not going on. If it happens, this one. If it does not happen, this one. Am I waiting? This is a question to confirm yourself. Am I waiting? Am I not waiting? This is positive question. This is negative question. So these 4 are called variations. I am eating. I am not eating. Am I eating? Am I not eating? I am learning. I am not learning. Am I learning? Am I not learning? I am washing. I am not washing. Am I washing? Am I not washing? I am listening. I am not listening. Am I listening? Am I not listening? So loud repetitions are important. Do not do all these things silently because this is not your physics, chemistry, botany, zoology. So don't feel shy to open your mouth. Shed all your inhibitions. Do loud practice. Open the tongue, open the mouth as much as possible and make as many variations as possible. That will be a wonderful practice for your tongue. Hi, this is J. Balakrishna. In this video, you are going to learn how actions are done to me. How actions are done to me, how something happens to me. Take this sentence. I am encouraged. This is a subject, first person, singular, and this is called verb in English grammar, or you can call it a technical word. These two people come together. It goes only with I and it indicates present tense. Now see these sentences. I am encouraged. I am discouraged. I am guided. I am motivated. I am supported. I am misguided. I am loved. I am liked. And it goes on and on and on. Encouraged, discouraged, guided, motivated, supported, misguided, loved, liked. You can add a few more. Hated or sponsored. All these are called in English grammar verbs. We call them action verbs. And they are in past participle format. They are in past participle format. What do you mean by past participle format? Take the case of speak. This is called base form. It can also be used like this. Speaks. This is called S form. This is spoke. Past form. Now this is spoken. We are interested in this part. This is called spoken. This is called past participle. All these are past participle forms of the verb. Then we have the last one called ing form, speaking. Speak, speaks, spoke, spoken, speaking. This is called base form of the verb. This is S form of the verb. This is past form of the verb. This is past participle form of the verb. This is ing form of the verb. In this video, I am not going to confuse you by talking about all these people. We are bothered only about this person called past participle. This is one of the 5 forms of an action verb. Now here what is happening, you try to understand. I am encouraged. All these are the actions which are not done by me. Remember, which are not done by me but by somebody else. Let us say I am encouraged by my father. Meaning, my father is encouraging me. My father encourages me. I am not doing any action. So actions are done to me. Something happens to me. I am encouraged by my father. I am discouraged by my friends. I am guided by my teachers. I am motivated by the teacher. I am supported by my followers. I am misguided by some people. I am loved by my mother. I am liked by my students. I am hated by some people. I am sponsored by my parents. If you want, if you are interested, you can add. Otherwise, you can just ignore it. We call it by plus doer. Why do we use the word doer? Because this is done by this person. I am encouraged by my father. Father is the doer. I am discouraged by my friends. My friends are the doers. So here what is happening? I am not the doer. I am not doing any action. The actions are done by others to me. I repeat, take a subject called I, put the verb am because it goes with I and it indicates present tense. In this video, we are concentrating only on the present tense and collect as many past participle forms of the verbs and make sentences with them. And in grammar, this is called passive voice. Now at the end of the video, I am using the term passive voice. I haven't used it so far because you should not be terminology conscious. The purpose of these sentences is you are not the doer, you are not doing any action, others are doing actions to you, and you are just a receiver. That way you can make the sentences. And again, every sentence can be used in 4 different ways. I'm encouraged. I'm not encouraged. Am I encouraged? Am I not encouraged? I am discouraged by some teachers. I am not discouraged by some teachers. Am I discouraged by some teachers? Am I not discouraged by some teachers? I am guided by the teachers. I am not guided by the teachers. Am I guided by the teachers? Am I not guided by the teachers? I am motivated. I am not motivated. Am I motivated? Am I not motivated? There is one advantage of learning this type of sentences. For your personal reasons, if you do not want to disclose the name of the doer, you can just keep the full stop here and make the sentence. I am encouraged. I need not say who is encouraging. Who is this doer? I need not say. I am discouraged. I do not want to disclose the name of the person who discourages me. I can simply say I am discouraged. I am guided. I am motivated. I am supported. I am misguided. Then at the same time, try to practice it in 4 different ways. And grammar calls it passive voice, simple present. It is not important to know the terminology. That's why we are using it at the end of the video. Your job is to make sentences. I repeat, take a subject, take am, take past participle forms of the verbs which can be used for human beings, which can be used for people, and make large number of sentences, and again practice 4 variations. Balakrishna. In this video you will learn about how to make sentences with I and am combination. Just see these sentences. I am at home. I am on 2nd floor. I am in India. I am at the airport. I am in the meeting. I am against violence. I am with my parents. Now, these are some sentences where we have used a subject called I, then we have taken a verb called am. This indicates present tense and it goes only with the person I. Now, these are some words, groups of words: at home, on 2nd floor, in India, at the airport, in the meeting, against violence, with my parents. Now, these are all called prepositions. Prepositions are some technical words in English language. They help you to talk about time, place, and relationship. Prepositions are some technical words in English language. They will help you in talking about time, place, and relationship. Then you can add to this set and make sentences like this. I am at home, it indicates place. I am on 2nd floor, it indicates place. I am in India, of course it indicates place. I am at the airport, I am in the meeting, I am against violence, I am with my parents. Like this, you can add prepositional phrases to this set and make small sentences. Only 3 parts are there: subject, verb, and other words. Under other words category, we are using prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is a combination of noun and a preposition. It is called a prepositional phrase. Collect prepositional phrases from any good dictionary, keep on adding here and make sentences. That will be stage 1. Now, after making large number of sentences by using subject, am, and a prepositional phrase, you should learn how to use it in 4 different ways called variations. Look at this example. I am from India. This is called affirmative form, positive form. Call it a positive form in a simple way. I am from India. If it is not, then what do you say? I am not from India. This is called a negative form of the sentence. I am from India. I am not from India. Now let us go to the question part of it. Am I from India? This is called positive question, affirmative question. What about the negative part? Am I not from India? Yes. Take one sentence and write the 4 forms and do loud repetitions. I am from India. I am not from India. Am I from India? Am I not from India? I am at home. I am not at home. Am I at home? Am I not at home? I am in the meeting. I am not in the meeting. Am I in the meeting? Am I not in the meeting? I am at the bus stop. I am not at the bus stop. Am I at the bus stop? Am I not at the bus stop? So without feeling shy, without any inhibition, do these repetitions as many times as possible. Trust your tongue, not the pen. Pen is not as strong as tongue. Tongue reaches where pen can't. Do this and it will definitely do wonders to you. Thank you for watching this video on prepositional phrases.